Alright, what's going on everybody? Welcome back to another video here on the channel, and today we're going to be talking about the new, well not really new, but the big new push, I guess, behind this way, basically for these ISPs and the government as an extension to spy on you, monitor what you're doing, see what's going on inside of your home, anything really that they want to know. This is the new push. Now obviously for the last 20-25 years here in America, we have become the victims of a mass surveillance state. Now, it's obviously gone on longer than that, but especially since 9/11 happened, there has been this massive acceleration by the US government, by its entities, and by the associations and corporations that they work with as extensions to basically monitor what everybody's doing, trace everybody online, figure out what they're saying, what their opinions are, whether or not they should be put on watch lists, whether or not they could be considered dissenters of the state, all kinds of different things. Now, I probably sound like a massive conspiracy theorist, lunatic, or whatever, just rambling at this point, but the thing is, if you haven't caught on yet, the conspiracy theorists, 9 times out of 10, they're right. And there's a reason why there's this massive push all the time to discredit these people, to shut down people who have, opinions that don't go with the norm, or who notice things that the average person is not going to notice. That's not to say that every conspiracy theory is correct, or true, or valid, but a good portion of them are. Now, the conspiracy theory that I'm talking about is the use of Wi-Fi to monitor people. Now, not like checking through your phone or whatever, but basically by emitting Wi-Fi signals in an enclosed area, using the radio frequencies or whatever that carries the Wi-Fi to essentially map out what people are doing, where they're going, what's going on around them, things like that. So this is officially here, and it's not being marketed as this. It's being marketed as a safety and security tool by companies like Xfinity. You can see here, new, use Wi-Fi signals to detect motion in your home at no extra cost. Start detecting motion in minutes without relying on motion sensors or cameras. So you see this, and most people would be like, well, okay, there's a new security feature. They're trying to make me safer. They want to make it to where if anyone breaks in my home, they can immediately detect that they've done so. I don't need to set up inside cameras. I don't need a security system. I just trust my ISP, man. They use the magic airwaves I can't see to map out everything going on in my home, and I'm none the wiser as to why they're doing this. They're doing it for my security, they said, guys. Believe them. So years ago, people started floating the conspiracy theory, which at the time, of course, was widely discredited and seen as lunacy, that ISPs, which if people don't realize, they're literally extensions of the US federal government, okay? They're corporations that anytime the US government asks them to comply and give them records or give them access, they're going to do it. So they are part of the surveillance state. They are your enemy. They are the people who are overseeing the spying on you. So they're rolling out this new feature that can detect all this shit going on in your house. Now, the Wi-Fi signals emit from your router and from your modem and everything. They bounce around your house. That's how you have the wireless connection, right? Your devices detect these waves and these signals in the air. They bounce literally everywhere in all directions, and they bounce off the walls. They bounce off your furniture. They bounce off you. That's how this entire system works, okay? Now, what they're doing is they're using these Wi-Fi signals in this instance, where they bounce off of things, how quickly they return back to the centralized device, and they can from there build a 3D map of where these waves are going, what they're interacting with, and from there they can literally create a perfect 3D map of your entire home. They can map out all of your furniture. They can map out all of your possessions. They can map out where you are, where any of your family is, down to a precise couple of inches. They can see what position you're laying in. They can see if you're in the cabinet. They can see literally everything from this, okay? They don't need cameras. They don't need any of that. The information from this alone is enough to 100% basically map your home out. Now, of course, there's probably some weak spots or whatever in it, depending on how far the connection goes. But ultimately, this is what this is. And it's always marketed as a safety and security feature. That's how this always goes. It's the same song and dance. It's the same thing they did with the Patriot Act. It's the same thing they did when Edward Snowden exposed to us the extent of the NSA spying programs. It's the same thing they always do. They always go, oh, well, you want to be safe, don't you? You want to be secure in your own home, don't you? Well, what a lot of people don't seem to realize is it doesn't take giving a billion-dollar corporation access to mapping your home and everywhere that you're at 24/7 within it. It doesn't take giving them that access and priority for you to be safe in your own home. Now, there's something about safety and security in general that I think of every time I hear, oh, this is for safety, this is for security, we're doing this to protect you. The idea of offloading safety and security to another entity as people, right? Like you say, oh, well, the police will keep me safe, or the government will keep me safe, or the private corporations will keep me safe, is you're essentially offloading responsibility and control over your own destiny to another third party who oftentimes doesn't have your best interests in mind. So you're giving up your freedom, you're giving up the right to walk within your home, your rights to privacy, you're giving up all of these things so that you can be quote unquote safe. Now let's go ahead and take a second real quick. Let's think about how safe everybody in American society is with all of these new, these newfangled safety features from your buddies at the NSA, the fucking FBI, all these different agencies, right? Let's think of how safe you are. So for the last 10 years, we've seen headlines hundreds, if not thousands of times, mass shooting, 8 people dead in Houston, 13 people dead in New York, 15 people dead in Ohio, 2 dead in Florida, 50 dead in Las Vegas, right? We see this all the time. And you'll often see in these shootings, not all the time, but oftentimes you'll see in there, the FBI was monitoring this person and they were on our radar. We just couldn't get to them quick enough. We couldn't get to them in time enough. And like 2 or 3 times out of 10, these shooters, they post their manifesto online, they spam comments on Facebook about how they want to kill a bunch of people or whatever. So all these warning signs are already there, all these flashpoints that the government could be using to catch people to keep you safer, they're already there. However, somehow, magically, the FBI is incapable of catching any of these mass shooters. All of the newfangled spying features and all the monitoring techniques, key logging all of your emails and texts, listening to and recording all your phone conversations, monitoring all your internet traffic, recording you with the microphones and cameras on all of your devices and smart devices in your home. All these things, somehow, magically, they've never been able to stop this. They've never been able to stop the flow of fentanyl into the southern border through this. They've never been able to stop any of this shit. It's weird how that works, isn't it? It's the same way how when COVID was going on, they were able to contact trace people through the internet, like, oh, you posted about going to this event or whatever, going to this city on this day on Facebook. You probably have COVID because we detected that there was an outbreak. They literally did that. I don't know if people know this or not. They literally used the fucking internet during the pandemic to contact trace people anonymously through the internet to tell them, hey, you were in contact with COVID. You were at this location on this day. You may have COVID. So they're capable of doing that somehow, okay? But they're incapable of finding the mass shooters. They're incapable of finding the child sex traffickers all over the internet. They're incapable of finding the people posting CP. They're incapable of finding the narco terrorists that are online recruiting people to join them. They can't find any of the fucking ISIS members and whatnot online that are recruiting people. Really weird how that works, isn't it? They can trace you in every movement in your home through your Wi-Fi patterns. That way, if the police, let's call it for what it is, okay? Let's cut the thought here. This is really what it is. Here in the United States, if the police want to enter your home or the government wants to just enter your home to investigate you for a crime, they have to have a warrant, and the warrant has to lay out where they can search, what they're looking for, things like that. So there's rules at play. They can't just walk in your house and fucking investigate you like the Gestapo or anything like that. They have to have a reason to. And most people aren't going to just be like, yeah, go ahead and walk in my house and investigate me. Look at what I'm doing. So now they've just come up with a new way that they're gonna do it, and you're going to opt into it. They're gonna use your Wi-Fi signals. They're gonna use that to paint your house and map out where everything is. Then they don't have to go into your house. They don't have to go to the judge and get the warrant to come to your house and show up. They can just subpoena quietly the ISP, hey, give us the records on this person, give us the Wi-Fi data on this person. And then they can just map out your entire home using that. No warrant needed, nothing. And they're gonna need a warrant to get it from the ISP. Yeah, that's assuming that the ISP doesn't just immediately give in and help these companies, or help the government, which by the way, these companies do it all the fucking time. And people are always like, no, you would hear about it. You'd hear about it if these companies were helping the government. But so you think that they just magically, the NSA, they established magically, they teleported an entire system in place. It monitors all your phone calls, key logs all your conversations, stores all your online data, but they're not working with the big tech companies. They're not working with the ISPs. They're not working with the phone companies, any of that. Yeah, okay. All right, Billy. Sure, that's what's going on here, right? And it sounds insane. And a couple years ago, it sounded insane. But even when I first heard it, I'm like, dude, sadly, scientifically, this kind of makes sense. You know what I mean? Like, this is a possibility of something that could happen. They can literally use these radio waves to do this. And now that's what's happening. But they're marketing it as safety and security. Oh, well, you'll know if someone's walking around in your house. Yeah. I'm at home. I would also know if someone's walking around in my house. I don't need Xfinity to tell me, hey, you actually have an intruder alert at these coordinates GPS. I don't need that. I don't know anyone who would need that. And it's all it is, an extension of all the other systems in place. So you got to think, the average person, right, who's going to fall for this and is going to sign up for it or is going to unknowingly be opted in by the company in 3 years when they change their privacy policy and make this the default or whatever, right? And nobody knows about it. So the average person, just think, they have like their smart fridge, their Apple Watch, their phone, their Alexa, their smart TVs. These things are already recording them through the microphones that automatically have access. It doesn't matter if you give it access or not. They're already listening anyway. So you're being listened to through these. Your computer and your phone logs all your searches, your keyboard, everything is already monitored. Everything you type is monitored by the federal government. Anything you say is monitored by the federal government. We'll just go with that, right? Your car has an electronic system in it that is monitored by the car manufacturer to a certain extent and can be accessed through the dashboard by others and whatnot, right? Your Wi-Fi is now mapping out the entirety of your home on the inside so the police can see where your gun cabinet is, or they can see where your illicit products that maybe are in your house are at. That's the justification, of course, but all of these different systems, you know, your home camera system, your Blink or Ring or whatever the fuck they're called, you know, where it's like it watches outside for you on your phone. All these things are part of the broader surveillance system that is being overseen by the NSA, the FBI, the US government, the Big Five intelligence, all of these people, okay? So you're now in a large, massive, clustered web of spying devices that are constantly monitoring everybody and seeing what they're doing. And this is the newest feature. This is the newest part of the entire web. And whether you want it or not, it's coming. And like I said, even if this is right now like an opt-in feature, like, oh, you have to sign up for it, in 5 to 10 years, they're all just going to sneak it into the default, right? They're going to sneak it into where, even if they're not telling you up front, they're still doing it. They're still, oh, actually, this is part of our policy. If you see on the 619th page of our terms of service in 4-point font, okay? It actually says right there. That's how it's going to go, okay? And of course, you know, I sound insane saying this. Oh, he's being crazy. Optimus is on one again. He's off the goop. No, I'm trying to tell you what the new playbook is. I'm trying to tell you what the new game plan is. Because these people do not have your best interests in mind. These people fucking hate you. They hate you. They hate the freedom you have under the Constitution. They hate the fact that the police state can't just walk into your home and look at whatever the fuck that they want to. Because if they could have it that way, they would have it that way. Their only problem is there's about 200 million plus Americans with a motherfucking gun in their pocket that are ready to go. And there's only, what, a couple 100,000, a few million government agents. So that's not a war they're going to win outright. They're not just going to be able to march into everyone's homes and just subdue them. There's going to be a lot of bloodshed if that were to happen. And that's not a threat, that's just reality. But what it comes down to here is they can just secretly and silently map out what they want to know. They can secretly and silently gain access to the information that they want, and you'll voluntarily give it up without knowing. That's what this is. And it's scary to think, but right now, you're not seeing the applications of the use. You're not seeing what they're doing in the same way that when people found out the US government was monitoring phone calls during the Cold War, they didn't realize that after 9/11, the entire government would become a fucking spying apparatus that monitored everything everybody did anytime, anywhere. You can't even leave your home anymore without being traced by the government because the government is trying to make a cashless society where they force you to use a fucking debit or credit card to mark all of your purchases, where they happen, precise time point, which bank you use to make the fucking transaction. The cameras at the place can photograph you making the transaction. You get in your car, the GPS in that tracks everywhere everywhere you go, how fast you're going and doing it. Your phone is tracing everywhere you're going off the cell towers, off the app data usage. You go home, you're being completely fucking monitored like a zoo animal in your own home. Welcome to modern society, my guys. You enjoying your stay yet so far? Pretty cool, guys. So I just wanted to talk about this because most people see this and they don't understand. They don't see what the play is here. You're probably not going to see anything about this in the next 6 months in terms of usefulness for the government, but believe me, the fact that there will be no outright, oh, the government's using this real bad, they're catching everybody on it, that's what's going to be the cover coat for it, because obviously they don't want you to know that they're doing this because it fucks with their information gathering. It really is just insane, man. But anyway, with that being said, thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're brand new around here on the channel, follow me over on Twitter and Twitch at @SubToOptimus. Make sure to check out Shoptimus down below. Thank you to my Watch Optimus subscribers. Your support helps the channel tremendously. And until my next video, guys, this is Optimus, well, talking about the new spying mechanism that they're using against you, and signing out.